What's up guys, I'm excited for this one, I hope you are too. So the Pixel 3 XL here just got a firmware update to improve the audio quality when recording video. What I did is built this little contraption here, so we've got the Insta360 One X on this. It's gonna allow me to get kind of a unique angle as we walk about. I'm gonna stack it up here against the iPhone XS Max, which we know has some of the best video and audio quality on a phone right now. Let's go out and about. We're gonna record some different video examples, and let's see ultimately what you guys think of the audio quality. Is it improved? Is it better than the iPhone? Let's find out. Alright guys, so first video example here, we've actually got a street sweeping truck coming up here. So I wanted to go ahead and compare what this sounds like. Alright, so we got the sweeping truck here. Can you hear my audio right now? Can you hear my voice? How loud was that? Can you hear my audio right now? Can you hear my voice? How loud was that? That was a pretty loud truck going by. I could barely hear my own voice. Let's see what you guys think. When we talk in terms of quality, it's a pretty good example here. It's interesting the exposures these two guys choose because they seem to be very different. What do you guys think? The white balance doesn't look quite as good. It almost looks here like the iPhone's actually got much better skin color. Stabilization isn't as good. It looks like it's softening me, or the Pixel may be over sharpening as well. I'm not really sure. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is called the spin test. We're gonna spin around the cameras and see how the audio changes as we get both of these. Mind you, there is some traffic noise right now, so you might hear that as well, but we wanna see how that compares. So just kind of spinning around, changing, does my voice sound any better? We're using the rear-facing cameras, so we'd expect at this point, we're gonna have the best audio coming from the back mics, or it's gonna try to focus on the back of the cameras. Let's go ahead and flip that around. Now we're gonna do the same tests, but with the front-facing cameras. Again, it should focus on the front-facing microphones when available, but we'll see how it actually sounds. So now we've gone ahead and flipped around, so we're using the rear-facing cameras. I really feel like the iPhone's gonna be better audio quality here, especially given that it's got a microphone on it. But let's go ahead and see where it actually stacks up. I gotta say, just looking at these two, I'm a little bit torn. If I could take the stabilization from the Pixel and move it to the iPhone, hands down, that's the phone I'd want. Given how things are, do you opt for a better picture or do you opt for better stabilization? Let's take a look now at something with a lot of detail. So we'll see how the compression algorithms work. We're also doing a panning motion, so we'll see how the stabilization works in a little bit less crazy situation as walking down the street. Right now I am using the Pixel as my daily driver, so there is that. I obviously feel probably a little bit of a bias towards it, but I gotta say the iPhone footage just looks a lot better. Look at my face right now, look at the skin tones. I'm much more impressed with the iPhone than I am with the Pixel. So as we're gonna turn these cameras around, we're gonna get audio that's a little bit better out of the iPhone on the back simply because of that microphone placement. So let me turn it around again. Now at this point, you would imagine what it's doing is gonna let in as much sound as it can from the front because we're using the front-facing camera, and the rear mic should actually get disabled or muffled a little bit because we probably don't care as much what ambient noise is coming in from us. So we'll see how these two stack up. I think right now the Pixel's gonna do pretty well. The iPhone will be curious to see how much ambient noise it lets in. Another thing we're seeing right here is, again, the exposure. I feel like the iPhone's just doing a much better job overall with the exposure, even with that sun right in the background there, where the Pixel's unfortunately making really deep shadows on my face. So this footage really isn't that usable. Pretty tough scenery to shoot in, but a good example of how they're both gonna look and what they're both gonna compensate for. With that, let's go back to the studio so that way we can compare the audio quality between the two, wrap up with our final thoughts, and we'll go from there. Wow, so I was really surprised after reviewing the footage. I think they both had different preferences. For example, the Pixel had better audio when you were using the rear-facing camera and the audio source was coming from the front of the camera. iPhone, when you had the front-facing camera and front-facing audio, I thought sounded a lot better as well. You're ruining the shot. I think at this point, based on what we saw, if I had to pick one, I would go with the Pixel 3 only for audio. If we take the actual picture and everything else into account, I would probably go with the iPhone. Overall, I felt it had a better picture. You look at the rock examples, it was a lot clearer. You did get a lot more detail there. Skin tones and color are definitely better as well. I do think the Pixel has the edge up in overall clarity in most examples. However, overall picture quality in all use cases, I think the iPhone does win. But today we're ranking audio only, and I gotta give it to the Pixel. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button. I've got tons of tech reviews, tutorials, as well as vlogs coming out this year in 2019. As always, I appreciate having you guys here today. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the comparison, which looked better to you, which sounded better to you. What do you guys want to see in the future? See ya.